up, y'all? It's 10 p.m. I was sleeping and I don't remember. I went to sleep pretty early, but I just woke up a minute ago and like right after I wake up, I hear these people outside. I hear this guy outside like yelling, and then I hear this woman go, "No!" like screaming. And it's like most likely it was just some gang stalkers out there, but I don't really know. And this one just drove by my apartment and then synced up with another car right when I started the video. And my refrigerator turned on right when I started the video. But it's like, I don't know what the sound was when I woke up. Was it actually a woman screaming? Was she actually in trouble? Or was it just a woman screaming to gang stalk me? Most likely it was just that. But there might have been someone being kidnapped out here or something. I don't know. But most likely not. It was just a gang stalker. They're just creeps like that. And they just make weird, creepy sounds like that sometimes. They would always do that when I was delivery driving. I would always hear children screaming synchronized. Like when I get to my car, I would hear children or women screaming synchronized. And they do that when I'm out walking around too sometimes, especially at night. So it's just really creepy that they do that. But I don't know, maybe it was actually a woman in trouble out here. I don't know. I didn't see anybody when I opened my blinds. So, I don't know. But most likely, though, not. It was most likely just a woman screaming, "No!" Just to gang stalk me. Isn't that weird? Cause it happened right after I woke up, like a gang stalker. Usually right after I wake up, there'll be someone making some type of noises outside. So, I don't know. It was just right after I woke up, I heard this guy yelling, and then I heard this woman go, "No!" And then that was it. It was nothing after that. No, I'm just watching all these gang stalkers drive by though. They just keep syncing up with different cars driving by. And I went outside for a little bit earlier today just for a few minutes. And there was a bunch of gang stalkers driving around. On Thanksgiving Day. You know, so it's just like last year is the same thing. It's just a bunch of people driving around gang stalking on Thanksgiving Day. And his car came, drove by, and right as he pulled in the parking lot, someone came out the door, and then when he drives by me, a white SUV drives out. And then the guy that came out the door is driving out. And then he's turning and driving out. He drives by me and he has one orange light. And right when he drives by me, this white SUV is pulling up to the intersection over there. Oh yeah, but last Thanksgiving, I went out and recorded, and I went through the Hy-Vee parking lot because I went to see if they were open, and they weren't open. But there was a bunch of white trucks driving through the driving through the parking lot. So it was a really obvious video. I think that was on my Instagram. I think it was on Instagram. But like right when I got up to the Hy-Vee, there was a white truck coming in the parking lot, and then there's like more of them coming through as I walked out. And this guy's walking out with a red shirt right now. He's getting into a car that's parked pointed directly at me. And there's another car that parked behind his car in the distance. And there's someone else walking out of the door right when he gets to the car. You see those headlights in my glasses. You see how he's pointed directly at me with his car. He's got a red shirt. He's taking off. And then the other car that just parked behind him a minute ago is also taking off at the exact same time that he takes off. And then the guy that walked out of the building is like just out there smoking a cigarette. Oh, he's talking to somebody else, I see. But yeah, they just make all these weird, creepy sound effects out here. Like one night I heard a child screaming out here like that. I don't know about that one. Like I was just sitting here when that happened. But that was probably also a gang stalker, most likely. But I don't know though. Maybe not. But if so, though, isn't that like creepy and fucked up that they do that? I think so. I think that's really creepy and fucked up that they do that. And then they definitely do that when I'm out walking around. They'll have people screaming synchronized and children screaming synchronized. So they definitely do that when I'm walking around, so I'm probably right. So isn't that weird and fucked up that I'm probably right? Why do you have women and children screaming synchronized out there? What's up with that? Isn't that creepy and fucked up? And then I've talked about this a million times, but isn't it also creepy and fucked up that I hear children screaming and crying synchronized as if they're actually legitimately screaming and crying like they're in pain or something? I also hear that occasionally. Like that happened at Walmart a couple weeks ago. Where I was walking up this aisle and this kid kept screaming synchronized like he's in pain. Or like sometimes it'll be a baby. You know, like a child could act it out. Although you can tell when they're acting though, I think. But a baby though, they can't act it out. But they'll be screaming synchronized sometimes. Like there was this one time when I was in Hy-Vee and this baby was screaming like when it came in the door. And then he's like screaming when or like crying or whatever. Like when I grab the thing that I'm going in there for, he's like crying across the room. And then when I walk up to the checkout, he's crying again. And then when I check out, he's crying again. And then it's like whatever, like when I press a button or whatever, he's crying. And then when I walk by him, he's crying. Stuff like that. Like a little baby. You're not everyone, though. Y'all say everyone, but you're not everyone. So what are you talking about? No, everyone does not tell me that. Just y'all. Just y'all blind people keep telling me that. All the people with eyeballs don't tell me that. And like most of the time when that happens though, it's not when I'm recording. There was like the one video that I put up where I caught it, where I was walking behind the Wells Fargo and the baby kept screaming synchronized. And then after I recorded that video, I walked by the baby again and he was screaming synchronized again. So most of the time it happens is when I'm not recording. Or like, yeah, this is like, what is that? Yeah, I'm in complete denial. You're right. You're not in complete denial. I'm in complete denial. You're right. I'm in complete denial that there is what? Alright, what's stalking then? If I don't show stalking, then what is stalking? Tell me. And I'm thinking back like on my life and like I don't know how far back this goes, but when I was a kid, one time me and my family pulled up to our apartment and we get out of the car and there's this car, like this house over by the apartment, like across the street, and there's this kid like shoving his brother into the trunk of his car or something. He's like, no, no. And I'm just thinking back, like, was that a gang stalker thing happening? I remember it like freaked me out when I was a kid. I was thinking back, like, were they doing that to gang stalk me? Or what? I don't know. I'm telling you, I don't know if you did drugs or something that caused it, but dude, this is schizophrenia. You've convinced yourself that these things mean something, but they don't. I've seen many people just like you with mental health. You're not being stalked, I promise you. Okay. Okay, dude. Whatever you say, Robocop. hope you get help, dude, because once you realize you aren't being stalked, you can live life without fear of this because it's not happening. No reason to fear it. Well, I don't fear it. They don't scare me. They're kind of creepy and kind of psychotic, but I'm not like, oh, there's people driving by. I'm not like that. Kind of makes me scared for the whole of humanity and the future of humanity. But, but like, I don't know. Regardless of what that sound was, there are people being kidnapped and raped out here and shit, and they just watch it happen. They gotta be, because they can track everything and they spy on everyone. Which isn't a conspiracy theory or uh, a suggestion. That's not my opinion. That is an actual fact that they spy on everyone at all times. That's been common knowledge for a while. That the NSA spies on everyone at all times. So if they spy on everyone at all times, then that means that they just watch crimes happen. And they just watch people get raped. And they just watch the Amber Alert car drive off into the sunset. They could go find the Amber Alert car, but they're going to send out a text message like they can't find it instantly. So regardless of if these screams that I hear out my apartment window are real or not, you know, like they just watch. Like they're just like, suspect is missing, but like how? How, dude? How is the suspect missing? How can you not find them instantly? Like you can me every 5 seconds. Seems like a bunch of bullshit. Seems like they're not missing and you're just watching them go around raping people. That's what it seems like. Because how can you find me every 5 seconds? Like, there's this girl that I knew who got raped. She was home alone one day, and this guy came up, kicked down her door. She's like in her 20s or whatever, living with her parents. This guy came up, kicked down her door, viciously raped her for like an hour, and recorded it, and then left. And then she called the cops. they're like they're like tracking him down for like a few months or whatever, and he is going around, a serial rapist, going around the country or whatever, and like raping girls, and then like stealing a piece of their hair. And like that's how they found him, was because he was stealing their hair afterward. And it took him like a few months, but they caught him, and then he's in jail. I think he's still in jail now. But, and then like the videos are still up on the internet too. Like, you can't, like, you can't find this guy instantly, and you can't shut down the dark web. Please. Like, you just watch things like that happen. They just let the dark web stay up. They run the dark web. Why? Because everyone wants to be a gang stalker. That's why. Because everyone wants to be a sellout gang stalker. And they think that it's funny. They think that it's funny that they work for a bunch of human traffickers. Which, Epstein, right? Epstein, right? Everyone knows what I mean when I say Epstein, right? Everyone on Earth knows what that means, right? Doesn't everyone by now know what Epstein means? So why would you work for Epstein and his friends? I don't understand. And why is that funny? Why can't you grow a pair of balls and say, hey, wait a minute, maybe I shouldn't work for Epstein's friends to stalk innocent people illegally. Maybe I'm on the wrong side of history. Does that thought ever occur to them? Like, hey, wait a minute. I'm stalking people for the government, and the government is Epstein's friends. Maybe I'm on the wrong side of history. Oh, yeah, they're able to stalk people and follow them around everywhere, but they can't find any of the human traffickers, and they can't shut down the dark web, and they just can't. Maybe this doesn't add up, and maybe I work for a human trafficking network run by a robot that is an evil human trafficking robot. Maybe I should stop doing that and save my soul. Does that thought ever occur to them, or are they just blinded by gift cards? Or what? Or are they afraid that something's gonna happen to them or their family or what? Like, why do they do it? I don't know. I think they should stop doing it though, right? Like, why don't they go gang stalk an Amber Alert car? Why don't they go find why don't, when they send out the Amber Alert message, why isn't there a bunch of gang stalkers driving over there, circling around the Amber Alert car, and then a cop comes in and arrests the guy? You know how they could do that in 10 seconds? They could literally just find it with a drone or whatever. They could just find it. They could just backtrack with the security cameras and figure out where the Amber Alert car is at and just instantly find it within like 10 seconds and then send a bunch of white SUVs around it and box it in and then have a cop come in and arrest the guy or whatever like that. They could just do that. They could just find all the missing children and all the missing people. They could just find all the human trafficker people easily. Because they're not using, or they are using cell phones to track too. But like, if I go walking without a cell phone, they're gonna find me and gang stalk me to death. They're gonna gang stalk the fuck out of me. Still, if I don't have a cell phone on me and I go walking around, there's still gonna be 1,000 gang stalkers around me. So why are they around me, but they're not around the human traffickers? But then I'm gang stalked by by child molesters, actual child molesters, gang stalk me. Why aren't they gang stalking them? Why are they using them to gang stalk me? Why aren't they gang stalking child molesters? If they're gonna gang stalk people, what are they gang stalking me for? And why are they using child molesters to gang stalk me? Like, bruh. Like, isn't that sick? Isn't it sick that they use babies and child molesters to gang stalk me?